Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people,
I've seen them.
haunted military bases,
I've served on one.
local restaurants with ghostly reputations.
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.
If you're enjoying the podcast you're listening to right now, and you've got a love of the paranormal, then I'm Rob Kirkup, and I think you might enjoy my show, How Haunted. Every other Friday, I take you to some of the most haunted locations across the UK, with the occasional trip overseas, as we explore the dark history behind each place, and the terrifying ghost stories said to haunt them. Across the year, there are seasonal specials too, including Christmas episodes packed with real listener ghost stories. And every October, the podcast goes weekly, a themed month building towards a big Halloween spooktacular. You'll also join me on real paranormal investigations, ghost hunts in seriously unsettling locations, with audio from the night so you can hear what happens as it happens. So if you're ready for creepy locations, grim history, and stories that follow you long after the lights go out, search How Haunted wherever you get your podcasts. And join me as together we ask, How Haunted?
Japan is a country filled with stories of haunted objects. From cursed swords to mysterious mirrors, many ordinary items are said to hold extraordinary powers. But perhaps no haunted object is more famous than a doll sitting quietly inside a Buddhist temple in the northern island of Hokkaido. To thousands of visitors each year, it appears to be an ordinary doll. Yet according to legend, its hair continues to grow long after the death of the little girl who once loved it. My name is Kevin O'Shea, and this is Supernatural Japan, and this is the story of the Okiku Doll, one of Japan's most enduring supernatural mysteries. The story begins in 1918 in what is now the city of Otaru, Hokkaido. A 17-year-old boy named Ikichi Suzuki was shopping in Sapporo when he purchased a traditional Japanese doll as a souvenir for his younger sister Okiku. The doll stood about 40 centimeters tall and wore a colorful kimono. It had the appearance of a young Japanese girl with black hair cut in a neat bob style and dark eyes gazing forward. Okiku immediately fell in love with the doll. She played with it every day, carried it with her around the house, and reportedly treated it as if it were a close companion. According to family accounts, the doll became one of her most treasured possessions. Tragically, only a year later, Okiku died from an illness. Some sources describe it as a severe cold or influenza, and it was around the time of the Spanish flu outbreak that was across the world. Now, it was also spreading across Japan at that time, and she passed away, and her family was absolutely devastated. After Okiku's death, her grieving family placed the doll on a household altar where they could remember her. They continued to pray for their daughter and kept the doll among other family memorial items. Then something strange reportedly began to happen. Family members noticed that the doll's hair appeared to be growing. When the doll was first purchased, its hair ended neatly at its shoulders. And over time, however, witnesses claim that the hair gradually extended lower and lower. At first, they assumed they were mistaken, but the changes allegedly continued. And the family came to believe that the spirit of young Okiku had somehow taken residence inside the doll. In Japanese folklore, this idea is not entirely unusual. Traditional beliefs hold that objects can absorb spiritual energy, particularly objects that have been deeply loved or associated with strong emotions. The boundary between the living and spirit worlds is often portrayed as much thinner in Japan than in many Western cultures. For the Suzuki family, the growing hair seemed to be a sign that their daughter remained close. In 1938, the Suzuki family decided to move away from Hokkaido. Rather than take the doll with them, they entrusted it to the Menenji temple, believing the priest would care for it properly. The temple accepted the doll and has housed it ever since. And according to temple accounts, the hair continued to grow after its arrival. Priests reportedly trimmed the hair on multiple occasions, only to see it grow back again. And today the doll's hair extends well beyond its shoulder-length cut. And visitors can see it displayed inside the temple, where it remains one of Japan's most famous supernatural attractions. And over the decades, the Okiku doll has become the subject of books, documentaries, television programs, and countless ghost stories. Naturally, many people have wondered whether there might be a scientific explanation. At various points, strands of the doll's hair have reportedly been examined. Some investigations concluded that the hair appears to be genuine human hair rather than synthetic fibers. And this finding has only fueled the mystery. Human hair on antique dolls was not unusual during the early 20th century. However, proving that the hair is actively growing is much more difficult. Critics argue that changes in humidity, deterioration of the doll's head, or simple differences in observation over many years can create the impression of growth. And others point out that stories passed down through generations often become embellished over time. Yet despite these skeptical explanations, believers remain unconvinced. Many visitors claim something is unsettling about the doll's appearance, particularly its long dark hair and expressionless face. Whether the hair truly grows or not, the legend continues to thrive. The Okiku doll taps into a much older tradition within Japanese culture. Dolls occupy a unique place in Japanese society. Unlike toys in many parts of the world, dolls have often been viewed as objects capable of carrying spiritual significance. Certain rituals even involve transferring misfortune or impurities into dolls before casting them away. And stories of haunted dolls, animated dolls, or spirit-inhabited figures appear throughout Japanese folklore. The Okiku doll may therefore resonate so strongly because it sits at the intersection of grief, memory, spirituality, and the supernatural. It reflects the idea that love can persist after death, and that cherished objects may serve as bridges between the worlds. I'm curious, Supernatural Japan listeners, do you believe that objects can hold a spiritual power? Now, I have to admit that I'm someone who's superstitious, and I am someone who believes in a lot of different things. And I do believe in the power of objects. For example, sitting right here in the Supernatural Japan studio is my father's Minolta camera. It's sitting right in front of me, and a picture of my father sits there looking at me too with a smiling face, wearing a Just Japan podcast t-shirt. I believe that camera, there's something incredibly special about it. And every time I see it, it makes me feel warm and happy inside. And it brings me incredible memories of my father, who's no longer here, the incredible man he was. So, I don't know, guys, what do you think? Do you have any special objects in your life that have a special meaning or power? Have you seen things before, objects that you believe has a power in a positive way or a negative way? I'd love to know. So please leave a comment somewhere for me on my social media, a comment on Spotify, Instagram, you name it. I want to hear from you. More than a century has passed since young Okiku died, yet her doll remains carefully preserved at the Menenji Temple. Visitors continue to arrive, hoping to glimpse the famous doll whose hair supposedly grows year after year. And some leave convinced they've encountered something genuinely paranormal. And others see only a fascinating cultural artifact surrounded by decades of storytelling. The truth remains elusive. Is the Okiku doll a haunted object inhabited by the spirit of a child? Is it an example of folklore evolving through generations of retelling? Or does it represent something deeper? A reminder of a family's love and loss preserved through time. Whatever the answer, the Okiku doll remains one of Japan's most famous supernatural mysteries. A silent figure whose dark hair continues to inspire wonder, fear, and fascination. And perhaps that mystery is exactly why the story refuses to die. Thanks for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you want to help our podcast grow, please leave an amazing rating and leave an amazing review or comment wherever you listen to us. And to see what the Okiku doll looks like, follow us on Instagram at Supernatural Japan, as well as our Facebook group. There are so many cool photos, reels, and news about spooky Japan over there on Instagram. The links are in the show notes and over at supernaturaljapan.com. Now, everyone, I'm collecting primary research, interviews, emails, and more from people who've had strange, supernatural, and unexplainable experiences in Japan. If you have a story to share, I would love to hear it and record it. Please DM me on any social media platform I use, and there's quite a few. All the links are in the show notes, such as Instagram, X, Blue Sky, or Facebook, or reach out to me through the contact form on supernaturaljapan.com or by email directly at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. And you know what? I really want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to download and listen to this podcast. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing it. So until next time, stay curious and stay strange.